director, editor, voiceover, graphics.
I'm Abby Waters. My film is Chicken Bones, and I wrote, directed, produced.
My name is Maria Vattimo. I was the director of Underdogs.
Kris Mendoza, executive producer of Underdogs.
Cheryl Hess, director and cinematographer for Dashing to Snowboarder.
Leah Claire Borrie, writer and director of Tips Up.
My name is Otha Hernandez, producer Tips Up.
My name is James Barker. I'm co-writer, director, and co-producer on Remnants of Nova. I'm Richard Ormsby. I'm the producer on Remnants of Nova.
Hi, I'm Max Kane. I'm the writer-director of Alma Burns.
I'm Barwin. This is my son, Wes Barwin, from MTWB, and I was smart enough to listen to Maria and Kris when they told me we had a really special story about the gymnastics team at Fair.
All right, thank you all for that. So we're going to go down the line again, but I would like for each of you, starting with the director specifically, to tell us why this film and why did you make it now?
Okay, quickly. I have a much larger film about the subject of my film, Joe Beam. It's a film that I started developing in 2016. And I'm pretty far along, got a script and everything. And then, you know, as a filmmaker, many of you know, it's very challenging to get films off the ground, especially when they're features. So me just itching to get this story out here, I was thinking, what can I possibly do to just educate people about who he is. So I decided to just focus around probably what some would consider his magnum opus, his essay, Brother to Brother, Words from the Heart, because I feel like it encapsulates who he is, not only as a person, but as a creative and an advocate. And that's ultimately what I came up with. My imagining of who he was, given that he's no longer here with us today.
Well, I guess the first very practical reason of why I made this film is I was working on a master's at Temple, and I was right up to needing to make a thesis and had kind of several tragedies happen all at once, and I was looking at either I'm going to drop out or I'm going to make something. And I thought to my people in my home, I always end up, though I was living here at the time, I'm always writing about Louisiana, South Louisiana, and the mythology, the terror psychology of the place there. And so I wanted to tell a story that was based on my grandmother, whose name was actually Rita Caterina. She was Italian, and she started, her memory started deteriorating to an early New Orleans of the 30s and 40s, the week that actually 2 hurricanes happened, Rita and Katrina. And so she to me, was a very real, living symbol of a lot of aspects of the culture of that place. And so to highlight some of the concerns in that area.
So at my show Filmworks, we do a lot of the video work for the Make the Road Better Foundation, which Connor Barwin is the founder of. And when it came time to telling the story of the rebuilding of the Vera Recreation Center, we thought, okay, well, what is the best lens to tell this story through? We looked at who uses the recreation center. There's basketball teams, football teams, community groups, but what really jumped out to me is there's a girls' gymnastics team. That's incredibly rare for recreation centers in Philadelphia, and such a beautiful sport to be a part of. So it really just felt like the perfect opportunity and story to tell a female story in Philadelphia that really has the grit and determination that kind of makes the city what it is. So it's been a pleasure to tell her story.
I'll just quickly add on to that. Yeah, our mission has always really been to tell stories that need to be told, and as you gather from the film, Kristen and the Very Gymnastic team has been around for 25 years, so it's just a real honor and pleasure to be trusted by Connor and MTWB to tell the story, be able to finally shine a light on the hard work that they've been doing, and show that creating space for young women to thrive, young people through sport, to really just create the space for them to be, I think was a great story to be able to tell.
So Dash was completely unplanned. I was not going to make a film. I just was heading out to the airport for my annual pilgrimage to the mountains, and on a whim I packed one of my 60mm cameras and some short ends, expired film. And I'm like, I'm going to shoot some home movies because it's so pretty, and then I can't really shoot home movies because I always feel compelled to make something. And then my friend who's here, hi Liz, she sent me out to ski with her friend Dash, and then I was like, oh, can I make a movie about you? So it was challenging to ski with my camera on my back. It made me nervous, and and then I did normally if I did this kind of thing, I would do the interview first, and then I would get inspired for visuals, but this I kind of just shot through this 5 minutes worth of film and then interviewed Dash, and he said such amazing things, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I can make something out of this, so that's how that came about. So I think I'm never going to plan films anymore, because it's really a lot less stressful when you don't plan.
I'm really interested in exploring kind of how women exist in different spaces and how that has changed over time. I really like to make period pieces specifically to explore kind of how things have changed so much and then how things have kind of stayed the same and the remnants that are left. And for this specific one, I was really interested in just those moments where, on your pursuit of success, how you're kind of forced or pushed or asked to give up a little piece of your dignity, and whether or not you choose to, and do you have a choice, and kind of what does that feel like and mean. So yeah.
So for Remnants of Nova, a lot of it was inspired between myself and my co-writer, Kimmy Devereaux, who's actually a pop singer in Nashville. And as a singer, she has lots of fans, and a fan reached out one time via Instagram and basically said they wanted to end their life. And so she spent 6 hours with a stranger she had never met before, talking online, kind of talking them down, getting them help, but that's obviously a traumatic thing to go through. And then on my end, I've spent time in psychiatric hospitals, behavioral health hospital. And so between those two interactions, we decided to write something loosely based on those experiences. And I think a lot of it too, which I know Rich will talk more about as well, is we wanted to address queer mental health without it being the, I just hate myself because of who I am, which is, can be a trope in a lot of films. And so we wanted to kind of work past that as if it's, we have people who are who they are and are accepting of that, but still have mental health issues alongside. It's not because of the other, it's just they are both. So that was kind of the original inspiration for the film and where it kind of went.
Well, you covered it beautifully, James. You brought me because I'm very interested in creating more queer content and more post-queer trauma content. Seeing these people as people and not queer trauma.
It's been about 20 years since my grandma passed away, and I miss her very much. And as filmmakers, we put so much time and countless hours into prep, production, and post. And this felt like another year or 2 years I was able to spend with her. And in some strange way, I hope you're able to, as an audience, reflect and think about your own relationships with your grandparents as well.
Do we have any audience questions before I proceed? I can be blind sometimes, so wave No, no one? All right, so I will continue. Oh, we do have someone. Yes, go ahead. And project. So are these films that you made real? Am I getting the question? Yes. Are these films that you made real? Who would like to take that on?
Documentary, yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a great question. And it's something that actually, my film, I am interested in a lot. One thing that is really inspiring to me about the home that I come from is that I find sometimes I see things in my environment that should not be there, that make no sense, that feel like they could be made up or memories or imaginary things, but they're actually really happening. So I think what we decide to put on the screen sometimes is, it can be real, it cannot be real, it doesn't matter as much as what is the story that we're trying to tell with that, and that story is real to us.